Welcome back, everybody. Sarcasm Speaks. Jared and Bob here, coming at you on it's a U.S. Open final round Sunday for us, or just a regular old Monday morning for some of you. Right out of the gate here, let's just jump into this event, right? So we are watching it live our time. So again, if we run into a Jim Murray, Reimer, you bum situation, it'll just be good for business, I guess. But LA Country Club. I think everybody knows LA sucks, right? It's not the best place in the world. And it turns out their golf course isn't that awesome either. So, oof, Rico. That was a tough one. So a lot of people have been complaining about different things actually with the golf course. So a couple of the guys, Brooks Koepka and Victor Hovland, for just off the top of my head, have both said that they're not big fans of the course. They don't think it's a great course. I think there might have been someone else that said it doesn't really fit what a U.S. Open does, but I could have just also read that on Twitter.
Yeah, I don't know. I know, yeah, Hovland. Yeah, I didn't actually hear what Koepka said, and I just know Fitzpatrick mentioned the fans. That's kind of what I'm at.
So that was the third one I was going to get into was so Brooks and Hovland said they didn't really like the course and the setup and the way it was. And then Matt Fitzpatrick came out and said that the fans were severely lacking. So come to find out, I did a little bit of reading on it and a little bit of research. The LA Country Club is extremely exclusive. Even though it's in LA, I mean, I have no idea what the membership cost is. Probably like $250,000 or something ridiculous. But they go out of their way to not allow celebrities to join their club. So that should tell you basically everything you need to know about this place. Is that it's in LA, right? I mean, I know LA is fucking huge, so it's not in the heart of LA, right?
No, it's the broadcast will tell you it's in the middle.
Yeah. So it's in LA. You're surrounded by celebrities. There's famous houses all along the course, right? Lionel Richie has a house right on the 4th or the 6th tee box or something. I don't know, something like that. The Playboy Mansion is on the 14th green, adjacent to the 14th green, I think it is. The Spelling Mansion, like Aaron Spelling from, what was he, TBS?
Mighty
something
Ducks
like
D2.
that. Yeah.
Uncle Aaron.
Their house is on the course. These are all on the course or adjacent to the course. And they refuse to allow celebrities to become members, right? They don't want their money. I mean, clearly said they have the, whatever it is, $250,000 a year. I just made that number up, but I'm assuming that that's probably in the ballpark. So these guys are stuck up fucks. And so what they did was they only allowed, I think it was 23,000 tickets. And I haven't seen details on this. I don't know if it was 23,000 tickets total or 23,000 tickets per day. But no one really has specified. So what I've seen was just the figure, 23,000 tickets were allowed. And I think 14,000 of them were for like suites and VIP areas and lounges and things like that were like exclusive access, which means that there were only 9,000 general admission tickets. And so what the LA Country Club did was they bought some of that 9,000 general admission tickets so that not that many people could come to their course. because again, they're stuck up cunts. And just hearing all of this and learning all of this, I immediately don't like this course. I don't like for the people, right? Like I'm not an architect purist, right? Like I'm not the guys from No Lang, or no, it's Fried Egg. They're like the architect guys. Like I'm not one of those. I'm not going to go after this course for its layout, right, and its design. Truthfully, that being said, I don't think it's awesome, right? I don't think it's that good.
So Andy Johnson, who is the Fried Egg, so if he's going to be like our architecture sort of like authority, now I can't fucking stand him. I will listen to what he has to say generally. And then I can tell when he's being a raging fucking loser about it. Dude, he is fucking insufferable. Him and Garrett Morrison, they're both on the Fried Egg. Like, dude, they are just so insufferable. Like, talk about like their way is the only way. And then they like mock anyone that thinks otherwise. So it's like,
yeah,
they're fans of bifurcation, either bifurcation or a complete rollback. And then they like mock anyone that like enjoys hitting it far. I'm like, you guys are fucking insufferable. Yeah. So that's why I'll at least like listen to what they have to say when they profile a course. And I think Andy Johnson said that LA Country Club might be his favorite. It's either that or Cypress. So I'm guessing from like an architectural standpoint that this is fucking solid.
Yeah.
But what does that mean? Like, what the fuck does architect, like, who gives a shit?
Yeah, exactly.
And
right?
like Oak Hill's a decent architecture, but it's a great championship course. And that's like what you want sometimes. Like, this leaderboard isn't bad. Don't get me wrong. Like, Wyndham Clark is playing really good this year. Rico's Rico. Then it goes Rory, Scheffler, Schauffele, DJ, Fleetwood. Do you really have that much to bitch about with that leaderboard? Like the names.
Right. You don't.
Not really. So it's like, I guess we're getting,
it's
the best out of it.
It's not Ryan Fox and, Guido Michelozzi, right? It's not, it's not goofy. It's not those guys. Yeah.
Michael Campbell's won a US Open, Lucas Glover.
Yeah.
You're getting the
Charles Schwartzel.
Yeah, he won a Masters. Immelman won a Masters. So
yeah,
you're getting the names, and Wyndham Clark, based on his performance this year, belongs there. Like, I mean, he doesn't have the total resume, but
well, I saw something on Twitter. I forget who posted it. But I think they said on the PGA Tour in the last 50 rounds, I think Wyndham Clark is the best iron player on tour in the last 50 rounds.
He fucking pounds the ball too. But
yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm a little annoyed because I like when the big guns win.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know if Rory's got a birdie putt to get one back right now or not. I like when the big guns win. I like guys who win multiples. But if someone's gonna, like, that's the thing, is like Wyndham Clark, he could win multiple. He's good enough. I don't know, but like, I'll be annoyed for a little bit. But the big thing with the US Open, it's like, if you want to like pretend it's more than it is, like our national open is completely shut. Oh, there you go, Roars, you fucking loser.
I'm a solid like 10 seconds behind.
Oh, well, he fucking misses that putt probably by the same distance he had.
He just stood over it right now.
Oh, well, I'm in the future, or you're in the past, one or the other. Yeah, I mean, like, so if it's going to be quote unquote our national open, in like, this is the thing. It's like, so I look at it like it's a major golf tournament. Other people try to make it into something this like poetic or fucking symbolic of more. Dude, this is like, Francis Ouimet's not winning this tournament. That's not happening anymore. Bobby Jones isn't winning the US Open. Like,
right.
They're both dead. I'm not getting hot going on a run and making a fucking charge at the US Open. It's not happening. These guys are too fucking good.
Right.
But if you want to say that this tournament, our National Open, where anyone can get in, and I mean, if anyone can get in, then anyone can win, theoretically, which they can't, but they
Right.
can.
Yeah.
If you have a 1.4 handicap or better, you can go to local qualifying. And if you get through local qualifying, you can go to sectional. If you get through sectional, you're in and you play. And you play well enough and you do it. Like US Open, Open Championship. It's the only way you can do that. You want to get in the Masters as a regular dude, you need to win the US Am or finish second, win the Mid Am. Like you need to win a legitimate tournament.
Right.
US Open, you just need to play 54 good holes and you could be in. But then to shut out the fans, because people show up to Riv. So say what you will about the LA area.
Right.
And it's like, whatever. It's fucking fantasy land and the people are fucking stupid, whatever. People show up to Riv. Like Riv gets good crowds. So it's no different. This is coming from the golf course.
It's like 3 miles away from Riv, isn't it? They're like super close.
It's all LA, so I know LA is big, but like people would show up. Like they would. So and when I say the golf course includes the membership because I'm sure it's member owned.
It is.
To shut out the public, like why have a US Open? Like there's a reason why Pine Valley will not have professional golf at their course because they don't want it.
Right.
You guys want it, but then like don't. And it's like you want to be this club, but you don't let anybody in. Yeah. It's like
you can't have it both ways.
Yeah, that's the thing is like Cyprus is very exclusive. And I'm pretty sure they don't play there much anymore. Like back in the day, they probably did. And it used to be in the Pro-Am Rota and they got rid of it. Like, but you don't hear like the people of Cyprus clamoring for like visibility. Seminole, Cypress, Pine Valley. Like, just go away. Like, no one cares. Like this, and that's the thing is like, I know I'm never getting to this course. So why should I give a shit?
I've seen people talk about that too.
And I was gonna say, what did I say to you about Pinehurst?
Yeah, so we could literally go play.
And I said, I was like, oh, the US Open's at Pinehurst. That might be an easy trip, but I kind of want to play it before I see it. Like I don't want to go watch a golf course I could play.
Right. And so I've seen people talk about that online too, is that the part of the allure to the US Open is that they play it on courses that we can play typically. Right.
So kinda, some people are saying that, but if we really break down the US Open, they don't have a rota, but like typical US Open courses, we can play Pebble, Torrey, Pinehurst. I'm not going to go in order, but like we cannot play Marion, Oakmont, Shinnecock.
I know it's switched, but
the Country Club.
We could play Bethpage.
Bethpage is PGA now, I think. Yeah. So the PGA Championship gets the same thing. Like we can't go play Oak Hill, but we could play Bethpage.
Right.
So that's I don't need it to be a play. Like every once in a while having it. Well, so now we've got that. Pinehurst and Pebble are in like the rotation, so there should be some level of course that we can play. Right. But that being said, it's like it's not gonna be that either because it's too hard to get a championship layout and have it a championship layout that you can also pack that many people into. It's just hard to do.
Yeah.
Just hard.
Yeah.
Like so we can play Kiowa.
Yep.
That was a PGA. We can play Bethpage. So it's not 50-50, but it's probably like 1 in 3.
Yeah.
1 in 3 events like are places that we could play. But I don't need it to be that either because U.S. Open, like, give me Oakmont, Shinnecock, Oakland Hills, the Country Club, Wingfoot. Give me those places. Wingfoot, maybe not. Those members are kind of fucking lame too. Like they were probably super psyched that like they had the COVID year, so there were no fans there. Like that's my only like if you have a membership and you don't want the US Open, just don't have it. It's easier that way.
Yeah, that's exactly to your point before, right? Like you can't have it both ways. So what I was saying before too was so effectively there's only 9,000 general admission tickets available, and the LA Country Club members bought up some of those tickets so the numbers would go down. So you have less than 9,000 people. Let's be positive. Let's say it's per day, right? Like let's not assume it's the entire weekend. Let's say it's less than 9,000 per day. In contrast, last year when it was at the Country Club, it was 40,000 per day. So 40,000 general admission tickets were sold per day. And at LA Country Club, you have less than 9,000 per day.
It's
So
stupid.
it's stupid, right? And then also people are, like I said, though the guys, the players are talking shit about the course. And also like it doesn't feel quite like a US Open when two guys go out on Thursday and shoot 62. And Tommy Fleetwood was flirting with another 62. I think they were saying, I don't think there's ever been three people to shoot a 62 in a US Open ever.
No one shot a 62 in a US Open until this week. There's been 162 in a major.
Yeah.
Brandon Grace did it at the Open in 2017.
Yeah.
So not only did they break the scoring record, they did it twice in 20 minutes. And then if
Yeah.
Tommy Fleetwood didn't fucking yip his putt,
Right.
we would have had 3.
Right. So, I mean, we'll see what the back looks like because the back kind of looks tough, and Wyndham Clark is in the shit right now. So the winning score could still end up being somewhere around 10. But
Maybe.
I mean, after like this morning, right before the round started, if you asked me what I
Uh-oh.
thought would get it done,
No,
I would,
you got 10 seconds.
yeah, I would have said 13. 13
Yeah, so I
probably would
mean
have been the winning number.
this actually kind of not quite stinks of Pinehurst 2014 because I don't think anything will actually be Pinehurst 2014. I'm still pissed at fucking Martin Keimer for ruining that for me. Like I got back into golf in 2013. I watched a ton of I watched the Masters that year. I watched a ton of the US Open at Marion that year. Like that one was the big one for me. Like 2013 US Open. I watched like live from every night um and I remember with Marion, they were concerned about 62s at Marion. And ultimately Justin Rose won at 1 over for the event. And it's just like Marion's short. They grew the fucking rough, and those greens are just fucking hard. Like they are really, really fucking hard greens.
Yeah.
So like Marion ended up didn't getting into it. So then Pinehurst came in 2014, and it's like, oh, they've renovated Pinehurst. They brought it back to, it's in the Sand Hills, North Carolina. So it's like we got waste areas, we got a more natural landscape, more natural grasses, less green, less like polished, like less of the Payne Stewart Pinehurst that we saw. And then Martin Keimer came out 65-65.
Yeah.
And the only thing that changes between Martin Keimer at Pinehurst and this event is that Martin Keimer won by 8 at 8 under. No, 9 under. He gave 1 back over the weekend. So the rest of the course held up. One guy just played out of his fucking mind. But again, it's
Right.
like I think he was late early. So it was fucking over by Friday morning. And Wyndham Clark is fucking ejecting right now. Holy shit. I don't know what that's for. Bogey? No. 2 in, 3, 4, 5. I think that's for bogey.
Yeah, my world, he just chipped out his 5th shot.
Onto the green, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got like a 3-footer.
Yeah. Well, Schauffele
6.
bladed one out of the bunker. This is hysterical. Yeah, so I mean, it's like the guy, like the only like with the U.S. Open, it's like I just would like for it to be hard. Like it's supposed to be like the golf's biggest challenge. Like that's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
But
I
then
mean,
it's
we've talked
like,
about it, right? 3 years in a row, the winning score was 6 under for the weekend.
yeah,
So
and
you give these guys, what is it? It's 72 holes, right? And it's, I mean, it depends whether it's a par 70 or 71, 72. So whatever, like 270 something holes roughly, right? They could only come out 6 under par. Like,
yeah, and I think
that's a really fucking hard course.
And I think what happens is the guy, because it goes back to 18 at Shinnecock, where the guys bitched and moaned and pissed and fucking Phil fucking slapped that ball back or whatever. If you make it too hard, you get killed. So I think 6 under is a nice like medium for them now. It's never going to be an even or an over par or anything anymore. There's no way. The USGA is soft, the players are soft, and then the courses don't want their place getting a bad reputation. So like 6 under, fine. But I also get super annoyed when it's like super gettable day 1, kind of gettable day 2, and then it's like, oh, okay, now we'll slam you because like it was kind of fair. We saw what the numbers would be, and now we'll fix it. It's like, come on, man. But like, you don't have to do shit like that at Shinnecock and Oakmont. There's been enough U.S. Opens where if you want that winning score to be fucking 6 under, you can pretty much create an algorithm for how that setup's going to be, and then just adjust for weather. But I don't know. Like Clark's at 11. I know the play starts to buck on hole 10, but like, I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, like I said, we'll see. Like, I thought the winning score was probably going to be somewhere like 13 or 14. And
the over under before the round was 8.5 under. Before the tournament.
Yeah. So like 13 or 14, like that doesn't scream US Open to me, right? If the winner is 14 under, it's like,
no. And
okay, the winner at was 14 under. I don't know, like fucking pick a fucking thing. What was the winner at Quail Hollow?
Probably around that.
Probably about 14 under. Yeah, hell, hey.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't see what's so wrong about like really putting it to these guys like once a year. I don't know. They're fucking soft.
Yeah, I agree. So, yeah, LA sucks. LA Country Club sucks.
It's going back in 2039.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing too, because I'm not done. I'm not done yet. This is how much I fucking hate LA and apparently this tournament. The West Coast timing of this fucking retarded. So granted, yesterday was a Saturday, right? So typically people are more likely to stay up on a Saturday night. The fucking golf didn't end until 11 o'clock Eastern time.
There's no need for, on a Saturday, for the leaders to go off at 3:40 local.
Yeah.
Why didn't they just go off at 2 o'clock local?
Yeah.
Why was the first tee time 9:40?
You know what I saw?
I bet you that's a fucking LA thing. Like, oh, well, we don't want them to get up too early.
Well, you know what I saw?
We don't want to ask our
Twitter?
grounds crew to be there at 5:30.
That seems a little bit more likely. But I saw someone on Twitter put out that the members were bitching that they couldn't get out to play Saturday morning. So
This place does not deserve a U.S. Open.
so
This place
they
doesn't deserve
they
shit.
pushed the tee times back to allow for members to get out and play Saturday morning.
They let them out?
I have no way to confirm this.
No.
This is a random
There's
tweet.
no way they let them out. No.
It's a random tweet I saw
way.
from someone on Twitter.
There's
But
no way they let them
that
out.
was a tweet that I saw. It might have been in reply to like, I don't know, Rappaport or something like that. Because whoever it was also complaining about the late start time. And there was a reply that said the LACC members were complaining that, you know, they wouldn't be able to get their tee time Saturday morning. So they pushed it back so they could play early, which seems highly unlikely.
There's no way that happened.
I'm more apt to believe your side of it, right? Where it's like, oh, well, we can't have the groundskeepers there too early. And, you know, we don't really start work until 9, like that type of stupid fucking LA mentality. I think that's a lot more likely. But yeah, that would be fucking absolutely insane if it were true. So yeah, the start times, fucking stupid. Those suck too. So then what do they do today on a Sunday night? Oh, they go, oh, we'll start the tee times an hour earlier. So now it's going to like, we're not going to know who wins the tournament until 10 o'clock tonight on a Sunday. Now I'm off tomorrow because I'm playing in a golf tournament. So selfishly, like, I don't really give a shit. But this is ridiculous, right? Like, so you're setting up for a terrible, terrible fucking weekend. I'm really going to be curious to see what the ratings are, what the TV ratings are, because you have guys basically having their way with the golf course, right? For the most part, right? Obviously, that's not the rule, but the guys at the top basically having their way with the course. You have the vibe at the course isn't great, right? Matt Fitzpatrick saying it sucks because there's no one there, because the country club bought up its own tickets to have less people. And now you have the timing where you're not going to know who wins until 10 p.m. on the East Coast. So this fucking sucks, right? This is it's I think it's probably the worst US Open that I at least have been following.
Aaron Hill's the worst for me.
For all things included.
Aaron Hills was the most useless for me.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Bruce won at 16 under.
Right? Yeah. It was a 72. It was wide fairways, full length. So if you want to talk US Open, complete opposite of everything US Open. At least this course like fits the mold of like what a US Open should be, like whatever. Aaron Hills was a fucking head scratcher for me, which sucks because it's supposed to be awesome. Like it's like, because it's a public or a resort, however you want to consider it. It's supposed to be
Wisconsin.
I think it's Aaron Hills, Wisconsin. I don't know where that is. I want to say it's not close to pair up with Whistling Straits. I think it's too far away. But yeah, Aaron Hills is supposed to be sick. But like for a US Open, waste of time.
Yeah.
And then like Chambers was I still feel bad about Chambers to this day. Chambers was supposed to be awesome. Like it was supposed to be super cool. They had shitty weather. The greens browned out. The fucking POA was all fucked up. Like they had a bad weather year and it just made the place shit. So it's supposed to be sick since then, but I don't know. I mean, scoring wise, it was still 5.
Yeah.
That's what won it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
so...
this one, like, I don't know. I don't know with this one. I don't know what to think because there's no there's no fans. That's bullshit. The scoring.
Yeah, it just blows my mind that there's less than 9,000 people. And last year in Brookline, there were 40,000 per day.
Remember how hard it was to get tickets too?
Yeah.
We thought we had it tough. I guess Tory, they put in fucking 200,000 people.
Wow.
Maybe Shinnecock too. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Pinehurst will be fucking sick next year.
I hope
We'll
so.
see. And if not, then we get Oakmont soon, and Shinnecock will be down the road. And
Yeah, it would be
I th-
nice to get the country club back in there, right? Like to get, I think 2031 is the
I think
next possible
30,
time.
31's the next open date. I think it's like 31, 36, 38, and 40 are the next 4 open dates.
Yeah.
Pinehurst, Pebble, they're already slotted. Marion's already slotted. They could get another one. They could get that 2040, and then they would be like an every 10-year type of thing. Oakland Hills is getting in there later.
Yeah. I saw that.
So we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, the guys seem to like the players themselves seem to
I
like
don't
it.
think anyone had anything to complain about with the country club.
Yeah. I think there were a few guys that even said like it would be cool to come back here more
Yep.
frequently than once every 30 years.
Yep. And I think like Brookline, Shinnecock, Oakmont, those are your 3, like they're private, they're classic, they're tried and true, and they're like cool spots. Pinehurst is definitely unique. Pebble's Pebble.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they need to mix in Olympic Club, which I don't know. The women played there, so I don't know if Olympics getting too short. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is, because it's like I don't like, that's the thing, is I don't mind the West Coast. I just mind the fucking 2:30 local tee off. I want to say that Chambers Bay event was over by 8, which means they would have teed off around like 12:30 local.
Yeah.
So just do that. Like,
Which is fine.
all they do is sit around all day anyway.
Yeah.
You hear it all the time. It's like, what do you do to kill time all day? Oh, you do this, whatever. Just push the fucking tee times early.
Yeah.
Send the first group off at fucking 7:30 and just fucking get it over with.
Yeah.
Then the guys can catch their flights home.
Or split the tees. Like,
Oh, they won't do
whatever.
that. They won't do that.
I mean, they would do it if there were weather involved.
Weather.
Yeah. But it's, I don't know. Yeah, like you said, just send the guys off early. What's the matter with sending the first group out, like you said, at 7 a.m.? Who gives a shit? You're literally just barely made the cut.
Yeah. All it does is potentially gets them home same day.
Right. Right. So I don't know. That was a half hour on why LA sucks and why the country club is shit. So
LA country club.
Yeah.
Not the
Right. LA, LA country club. The country club is great in Brookline. All right, what else do we have going on here? So actually, I'm gonna throw this out here now. Apple TV Plus, whatever the fuck their streaming service is, has absolute fucking bangers. Like they have fantastic TV shows. And I feel like I need to apologize to them for underestimating them, because for the longest time I was like, oh cool, another streaming service, Apple's fucking streaming service, like don't give a shit about that, don't really care here. And so Amy and I have started watching some shows on there. They're all really fucking good. There's one that we started watching that we bailed on, called The Foundation. It's based on a book by Isaac Asimov, who's like one of the, early sci-fi. Yeah, he's a sci-fi guy. But it was it's weird. It's a little bit like Star Wars meets like fucking, I don't know, Guardians of the Galaxy, I guess. Like it's weird. or Dune. I think that's probably what it is. I think it's Star Wars, because I know everyone talks about how Star Wars and Dune is like, George Lucas ripped off Dune or whatever. I think they both ripped off Foundation, because they're all kind of similar in a way. But and I think Asimov was probably the first out of all of them. So that one we bailed on, but some of these other shows, dude, they're like actually really fucking good. So we watched Blackbird, which actually came out last year with Taron Egerton and Ray Liotta is in it. I'm trying to think of anyone else that's big that's in it. That might be it for like big names. But I love Taron Egerton. I think he's a phenomenal actor. So that's, Elton John for anyone who doesn't know who that is, or Eggsy in the Kingsman trilogy, or I don't know if it's a trilogy yet. Well, it was, but the third one was a prequel. So the Kingsman first two series, he's fantastic. So it's based on a true story. And it's about this guy who, I won't spoil it really, but it's about this guy who gets arrested and is given an opportunity to get out of jail if he can get a confession from someone who is in jail for murder, who's about to get released on trial for like technicality. So it's fucking great. There's suspense. There's like the actors are phenomenal. It's really good stuff. So again, it's Blackbird on Apple TV Plus. So big fan of that. What's another one? Oh, so the next one we watched was it's called The Last Thing He Said to Me. It's got Jennifer Garner and the dude from Game of Thrones, who plays Jaime Lannister. He's the dad. That one's really good. That one's like a twist. So that's like, it's got a really good storyline. There's a crazy fucking weird twist that happens like maybe 5 episodes in. I think it's only eight or 9 episodes long. Maybe even less. Maybe it's only 7 or 8. But that show's phenomenal. That's like you're on the edge of your seat. Like you don't want to stop watching, right? Like that's how they suck you into binging. The Last Thing He Said to Me, I think is what it is. Yeah. And then the last one, the one that we've been watching now, is called Shrinking. So it's a absolutely hilarious comedy show with Jason Segel in it. And it's actually pretty cool because I haven't seen like a good, decent like comedy. But it's also got some like quasi-serious plot lines to it. So, I mean, Jason Segel's amazing. I love him too. I'll watch basically anything that he's in. Forgetting Sarah Marshall is one of my favorite movies of all time. So I could watch that movie a million times in a row. Who else? Harrison Ford is in it with him. And I know you've come around on Harry Potter, but Professor Lally from Fantastic Beasts, the black lady, is in this show too. So it's pretty fucking hilarious. Jason Segel, Harrison Ford, and the Professor Lally from Harry Potter they're all therapists, and they're all like going through their own individual shit, and like it's just hilarious. It's got like elements of like some old TV shows, because Jason Segel has like a nosy neighbor that's like all up in his shit, kind of like Home Improvement, right? Where like, not that Wilson was like all up in his shit, but like he was always just kind of there. So it's pretty good. And there's a lot of really good comedy, a lot of good comic relief, but again, somewhat serious stuff. So, I mean, right off the bat, those are 3 shows that are on Apple streaming, that absolutely knock it out of the park. So we finished Blackbird, right? We finished The Last Thing He Said to Me, and we're like halfway through Shrinking right now. So those first 2, they're probably like 45 to 60-minute episodes. And Shrinking is like your classic, it's a comedy, so it's like 30 to 40-minute episodes. So pretty good stuff there. Do you guys have Apple Plus streaming, whatever the fuck?
I think the only thing we've watched is Ted Lasso.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's true. So I've never watched Ted Lasso, but I know Amy likes it.
That's interesting that in a kudos to Apple TV, you've never seen Ted Lasso. That's probably the only reason anyone even has Apple TV.
Yeah, probably. I think so. Because we use Mary's. Shout out to Mary.
Yeah, we don't. I don't think we have our own.
Yeah.
I don't know who it belongs to, but
so yeah, they both watch Ted Lasso, but I've never seen it. But we're like kicking around, especially a day like yesterday when no one of consequence teed off until like 3:00 in the afternoon, and it was rainy and shitty, and I got all my grocery shopping and everything on laundry done by like 11 a.m. It's like, what the fuck am I gonna do? So we start like just watching TV shows, and that's how we found Shrinking. But yeah, all of these are just perusing on Apple TV. So yeah, kudos to Apple TV for being a lot better than I thought. So I'm an asshole.
yes.
Yes. All right, we'll get one more thing before we wrap things up. We'll keep it relatively short and sweet today because we got obviously major golf to watch. So I saw this morning and I thought it was absolutely ridiculous, but also like a little bit of a silver lining here. So the Oscars that no one gives a shit about anymore, right? That people don't really watch either. They came out with a new rule that, let me see if I can find it. Okay. So starting with the March 2024 awards, so literally the next Oscars, movies will not be considered for a Best Picture nomination unless they meet 2 out of the following 4 standards. One of them is featuring a lead or significant supporting character from a, quote, underrepresented racial or ethnic group, have a main storyline that focuses on an underrepresented group, or at least 30% of the cast comes from 2 or more underrepresented groups. So that's pretty great.
Yeah. So
they won't even be nominated.
Yeah. So this thing that no one watches, you may as well just stop. Because now it's handicapped. It's a net event. Yeah.
So you either have to have a lead actor who's a minority of some kind.
So it's the lead. So what are the 3? It's the lead. It's
the lead,
the plot,
the storyline, or the cast as a whole needs to have at least 30% of some sort of.
That's easy. But what will end up happening is the winner will be selected from more of those first 2 points as opposed to that third one.
Right.
Yeah, that's just, you're just out cuting yourself. Again, like they're creating solutions for, I want to be careful. Solutions for problems that don't exist. And it's not that racial problems don't exist. It's that it's not like the racial problems are not fixed by movies.
Right.
So whatever
I would also argue that there aren't real racial problems in movies. Right? Like Hollywood
does a pretty good job.
By rule is generally very liberal. So there's not a lot of like racial strife in Hollywood, right? So like for Hollywood to be like, well, these are the standards we're putting down. It's like, well, you guys aren't really like a source of racism to begin with.
Yeah. So no one asked.
So yeah, no one asked for this. You know what I mean? It's not like we're not talking about like, you know, town government elections in Alabama, right? Like
Yeah. Or it's like,
maybe you could employ some of that in the board of selectmen in some of the towns in Alabama.
yeah, and it's like
Maybe.
it's not like tomorrow I'm gonna wake up and be like, you know what? I'm gonna be sympathetic towards the people that are coming in through the border of Texas and Arizona. It's like,
Yeah.
I think I've been too hard on them to this point. So I think I'm gonna be more sympathetic towards them,
Yeah.
living in Massachusetts.
Yep.
That'll solve it.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Nope. Sure doesn't. Oscars are a
So
waste of time anyway.
yeah. Yeah. So, you know, you're no longer also like it's not best picture. Like it's
Yeah,
not the best picture. You're now coming out right and saying,
it's the A flight.
yeah, it's not the best picture. It's the one that has diversity in it.
Yes.
Because they came out and said if this was always the case, The Godfather never would have been nominated for any awards.
Yeah, because it's bad. There's too many white people.
Yeah. So luckily, through this, there has been a lot of pushback from people in the industry. So like I've read part of the article in the New York Post, which I think is a little bit more right leaning anyway. But there are directors.
Yeah.
None of them. There's no actual names that have been used except for Richard Dreyfuss. Who I don't really know who Richard Dreyfuss is, but he has a really familiar name.
Oh, I was thinking I was going to Sleepless in Seattle, but I think that's Richard Gere.
Yeah, I think that's Richard Gere. He likes to put gerbils in his ass anyway.
Does he actually?
No. So there's a really fucked up, like hilarious story. I think it was Sylvester Stallone who hates Richard Gere. Somebody, I forget, some actor in Hollywood who was like an action star hates Richard Gere. So he started these rumors about Richard Gere like over the last like however many decades, and like they caught fire, and now it's like urban legend. So it's like people really think that like Richard Gere is this like fucked up person, but it's all just because like Sylvester Stallone's a dick and hates him and was spreading rumors. Like there's no truth to any of it at all. But I just remember one of them was he puts gerbils in his ass. They talked about it on an episode of Drinking Bros because Ross Patterson has it in with Hollywood from was his previous career. So I forget who the actor was. I want to say it was Stallone, but it was someone like that. But yeah, so Richard Dreyfuss was the only one that put his name to these quotes. But in the article, there's actors and directors that are saying this is ridiculous. So, I mean, we are getting at least a little bit of pushback from the people in the industry. But I mean, I feel like it's too little too late at this point.
And it's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I wasn't watching the Oscars. The Oscars anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think even when the Oscars were a big deal, even then it's like, again, my opinion, which isn't worth shit, but it would always be like all these like best picture movies. And I'm like, none of these movies are any good, or I don't want to watch any of these. So I'll just watch what I like, and Oscars be fucking damned.
Right. All right. You want to wrap this up?
We can wrap this up.
What do you got?
So I went and played Marion Golf Club.
Not to be confused with Marion.
Not to be nope, definitely not Marion. Marion, Massachusetts. this was prompted because there was a 3-day member guest at Sharon, which I was not playing in. I had the morning off and I had to be back at work like noon at the latest. Had to be there. So I look at George Wright, nothing. I look at DW, nothing. I really don't want to play West Bridgewater, but I could.
You're not a Boston resident, right?
No. Plus
so
those things are a lottery system anyway.
Yeah, because with
The
Bill, like
permit.
I think Bill can get preferred tee times through
Well, no,
George
so
Wright.
Bill has to get a permit,
Oh, okay.
and then
Okay.
he can get or maybe Bill would have to look into it
Yeah.
because the permit holder, I think you pay for, like, you get, it's almost like a membership.
Right.
Maybe he can get preferred tee times without the permit. But anyway, so the permit's onto a lottery system if you don't have one. So Bill would have to sign up for that. So I think I took like a quick look at Brook Meadow. I'm like, I'm not playing Norton. I don't like Norton. I don't want to play Easton. And I don't know what made me think of it. I go, Marion Golf Course is supposed to be like, it's a 9-holer. Everything I've heard about it is it's supposed to be like fun, unique, like a cool little spot. Like there's fucking stone walls on the golf course. Like it's supposed to be pretty cool. And I look and they have a 640 tee time. And it says $29. I go, oh, 29 for 9 holes. I go 58. Yeah, that's not bad, right? Look below. The next tee time is 650. Only 9 holes available, $21. The $29 was for 18 holes.
Oh shit.
So I'm like, okay. So I do the math and I'm like, all right, this is going to require me to get up early and get my shit together. But like, whatever. It's supposed to be cool. If I don't like it, I'll just never go back. And I had texted a guy who lives down that way, a guy from the gym. I was like, hey, I'm playing Little Marion. If you're around, let me know. He goes, oh, dude, I might try to join you. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I schlepped my way down there. I roll up and then the guy comes out. He goes, single? I go, yep. He goes, all right. He goes, there's a group of 3. He goes, I'll send you out before him. I go, yeah, man, whatever. He goes, you ever played here before? I go, no. He goes, let me get you a map. I go, oh shit.
It's never a good sign.
Yeah. So he's drawing on this fucking map. He goes, like, after 2, he goes, you're going to hit your tee shot on 2, and there's going to be a green straight away. He goes, that's 7 green. He goes, don't hit to that green. He goes, and I had done like my Google Earth stuff, so I knew it was a dogleg right. He goes, it's dogleg right. He goes, you hit to that green. He goes, then you're going to cross a little road and follow the signs for 3T. Okay. So the guys go, hey, there's a bell on the tree down there on 1. When you leave 1, just, hit it for us. No problem, man. So play the first hole, hit the bell, go over to 2, hit my tee shot, and I see someone walking up. It's fucking Jim. He didn't fucking, you didn't fucking text me. He goes, yeah, I texted you when I got to the parking lot. I'm like, dude, that was not enough time.
Yeah.
He goes, fuck it. I'm like, he goes, what'd you hit here? I go, 6 iron. He goes, okay, good enough. So he ended up meeting me there. So we play 2, and then we go over to the 3rd hole, and I'm looking at it, and I had played blues, so I didn't know if the tees were like Sharon. And he sets up. He goes, where are you looking? I go, I'm looking that way. He goes, no, hole goes the other way. I go, fuck. I go, I absolutely would have hit it the wrong way, because I asked the guys on the tee, I'm like, are blues and whites different? They go, no, they're basically the same thing. I'm like, okay. But I'm like, looking. I think so the thing is, though, if I put that tee in the ground, I probably would have looked to see which ball, what club I was supposed to hit. I probably would have noticed that it was a par 3, and I probably would have turned around and noticed it. But this is one of those greens that's completely hidden by the stone wall, so I don't know if I would have fucking seen it. Like,
Yeah.
but whatever, crisis averted. So all in all, we played in 3 hours walking, 18 holes. Like when we came off 18, the guy goes, "Oh, I'm making the turn." He goes, "Nah, man, we're done." He goes, "So you guys are done already?" Like, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So I have my notes and my thoughts. So things about this course. So, dude, like this place is just fun. Like that's all it is. Like it is a fun golf course. So the greens are crazy sloped. So like that second green, like keeping a ball on it is fucking impossible. Like you want to talk turtleback, like fucking crazy. Like I don't even know how they put multiple pin locations on that course. It's fucking stupid.
That's gotta be a hike for you.
It was like 50 minutes down and 40 minutes back.
Oh, really?
It was 50 minutes down and then 40 minutes back to the gym.
Okay, because it's telling me it's 52 minutes from my house.
That's because I think it's in a pretty inaccessible location for you. It's very easy for me to shoot down 24. No, shoot down 495.
Yeah, I mean I get right on 495. I mean,
Yeah,
I gotta go up.
but then
I
you
gotta
have
go
to. So
$95.
if you take 495, you almost have to go around. Can you get on 195 anywhere?
Yeah, I have to go down through Providence.
Oh, yeah. So there's no direct route for you. That's why it takes so long.
Yeah, but 495 for you is the same as 495 for me. It's the same road.
No, it is, but I'm effectively just driving in a straight line the whole time. When you get on 495, you can't just take a straight line to Marion. Marion, fuck. You have to drive like around, even if it's a little bit. That's what I'm saying. It's like yeah, because the distance from Milton to it and you to it is the same.
Yeah.
But you're like way south of me, so obviously there's no direct way to get over there.
Yeah.
Um Plus, do you have to get on 95 to go to 495, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're driving a little like that's all it is, just a little out of the way. But anyway, for me to get back to the gym was only 40 minutes. And then when they say like there's like stone walls, like dude, there's like a few of them out there. So it's like um you hit over like you can't even see the third green because you're hitting over a stone wall. And actually there's like it almost like surrounds the whole thing. 3, 4. There's one like in the fairway. It's a par 5, which means 5. There's one coming back, so you just lay up before it. 6, you're clear. 7, you're clear. 8, they block the green, and then 9, they block the green. So that green's almost completely blind. It's like a little punch bowl, and it's like 115 yards. But again, like you can't see shit, so you just hit it over and fucking hope for the best. And then like some of the shots, like so obviously if it with the stone walls, like you have some blind shots. It's not a long place, and I think I hit one driver aside. I think it was just on the 6th hole. I think everything else was a layup. I probably like looking back. Like if I wanted to, there was a wall I could have tried to hit over with driver. And then like the 7th hole, I don't know if I quite have that strategy down. It's just like it's super old, and like they just have like the 7th hole specifically, they just have these like random fucking shitty waste bunkers just like right where you want to land a driver. Or it's like the whole dog legs, there's a couple trees over it. Like it's actually like not to be because again I'm no like architecture nerd, but like some of the strategy on this course is just fucking insane. because like especially that seventh hole, it's like if you want to bury a driver straight, like you could get tree trouble. And if you want to try to take it the shape of the hole, well, you could get a shitty lie, like in one of those weird ass waste bunkers or rocks or fucking high grass. So like I only hit one driver, but I did have some like 140 approaches, 150 approaches because of it. But like other than that, I mean, it's really not a long golf course. It's like 5,800 yards.
Yeah, that's not bad.
3 par 3s, 1 par 5. So the par 4s do have a little bit more teeth than you'd think. So the other thing with this place and why it's like kind of relevant this week too, and I probably saw some posts about it and whatever. George Thomas did this. This is his first design, and he's the guy who did LA Country Club and Bel Air and Riv. Before going out to LA, this is the course he did. So, that's kind of cool. It's a little different. Like, and you can see that with like some of what's out there.
Is the first hole a par 5?
No, it's a short par 4 that you hit downhill to. It's pretty cool.
Still downhill. So Riv and LACC are both downhill par 5s on the first hole.
Probably just doesn't have enough land.
Yeah.
Do par 5. Or maybe he didn't figure that out until he got to LA. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, and then I will say the greens, for how crazy sloped they weren't slow, but they were a great speed for how much slope there is. So they're not the
second hole really, really hard.
The
is that
green
the one you said with the turtle green?
The green's fucking impossible. Well, so it's not really hard because it's a 6-iron and a wedge, and you theoretically should be able to get to, like, theoretically it should be a pretty straightforward par.
Yeah, because that was the other thing too. They said with these designs is the first hole is really easy, and then the second hole kicks you in the teeth.
No, this one does not. But also, I mean, none of the holes are like super hard at Marion. But like, yeah, the greens weren't like crazy fast, because if they were, like, it would be stupid. It would be an absolute gong show. And I guess I don't know what I don't know what prompted it, but it was getting a little bit of love. And then because I had heard about it, like, Fried Egg, whoever talked about it a little bit. And I guess so some Catanset members, which is right down the street, they grew up playing there, so they put some of their money into it. So the greens, like, dude, it's like pretty good. Like, I know people who've gone there in the past and they were like, it's fun but shitty, and it's like, I would not say it's shitty at all. It's not Catanset for fucking damn sure, but
yeah,
dude, it was fucking solid. I really enjoyed playing there. So as we're walking off, or I guess he probably mentioned it before. Jim had told me, he goes, Catanset's right down the street. I'm like, oh yeah. He goes, no, I mean, he goes, dude, I'm fucking telling you, it's on this road. I'm like, oh, okay. So we finished early because we played so fucking fast. I gave myself 4 hours. We played in 3. I was like, all right, I'll drive down to Catanset. So I took the road. That place just looks fucking nuts. Like,
yeah,
looks so cool. And you can see a shitload of the golf course as you're driving to the main entrance.
Is it on the water?
Yeah. It's got I think it's the third hole. It's a par 3. At high tide, it's a water hole, and at low tide, it's a sand hole. Like, Catanset's supposed to be pretty cool.
Is that super private?
Yeah. It's like a top 5, top 7 in the state.
Oh, wow.
It's got to be so fucking hard in the wind. Like, I think there's it's probably the front 9. It looks like there's like no trees. And then there's like some trees in the back. If I'm guessing layout correctly.
Yeah. Well, there any way we can ever play it? They do,
Catansit?
yeah, do they do tournaments or
I
anything?
don't. I right now I don't have a route to Catansit.
Yeah.
If I sign up for something else next year, I could potentially play.
All right. So my final thoughts here, we're gonna kind of circle back to LACC because I hate it. And I saw this one thing. Someone posted a video. It was actually hilarious. And it was a video on Twitter, and the actual tweet said, um, performing like the most evil task or something like that, something along those lines. And it was a guy videoing his feat of taking off his shoes and putting his golf shoes on in the parking lot.
Oh yeah, you can't do that there.
So that's one of the rules at LA Country Club is you can't put your shoes on in the parking lot. And first of all, I want to ask why. I have a feeling I know why. And then second, I want to ask you: have you ever played? You ever played anywhere that has that rule?
I have not, and the reason being is it's a very old school type of rule, um, and it goes back to like they don't want you changing your shoes in the parking lot because it circumvents using like the locker attendants and the staff and stuff. So like when you have these like super old school and it's got to be old and prestigious courses. Um, like there's locker room attendants and like dude, there's like there's like a shoe room. Like you go up and it's like, oh hey, Mr. Dadero, here are your shoes. Um, so that's some people's jobs to like do that stuff. Now, I think I saw somewhere that LACC was a no tipping course, but then it would be like one of those things like you're trying not to tip the locker room people because if you just like keep your shoes in your car and you get dressed in the parking lot, then you're doing that so that you don't have to tip the staff. That's like the heart of the rule. Like that's why that is like that.
Dumb rule, Mary.
Yeah, it's really stupid. It's like such an archaic like rule and like what like way of thinking. I also think too like that and so that's like the heart of it. I also do think too like if no one's golf shoes hit the parking lot, then they don't have to worry about cleaning the grass out of the parking lot because like that will look like shit. Because like
That's what
even
I figured. I figured they didn't want people banging their shoes in the parking
yeah,
lot because
it's twofold.
yeah,
Because at Spy and Pebble Spy at Spyglass, because it has its own dedicated parking lot. There's a spot where someone will you sit down and they blow like air blow all the grass and shit off your shoes. And I think that is a measure to avoid like just clumps and clumps of grass in the parking lot every day.
yeah.
So I do think it's twofold, but I have heard like some of these old like when these old school clubs have like because the rule would be clean your shoes before you get to the parking lot. And
Yeah.
then if someone spots you at a member owned club, then they'll just fucking drill you.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, there's a lot of signs at I think every single golf course I've been to has a sign that says clean your spikes before entering the clubhouse, which is just like common courtesy.
yeah. So if you have the air and you have the brushes and you have that stuff, that stops the parking lot. I think again, when we're talking like these really old school places, it has to do with like members trying not to tip the staff
Hmm.
or not utilize
Yeah.
the facilities. Cause I guess too, then it's like some people would try to be like, oh, well, I don't need a locker. I just get dressed in the parking lot. It's like, no, you're paying for a locker too. Like that's
Right.
how this works.
Right. Right. Right.
Because that's the other thing too, is like, no matter how much money some people have, they will be cheap in certain things. So it's like, if you told me that I was going to be a member at LA Country Club and a locker a year is $200, I wouldn't care about the $200, but like then some people would.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I'll cut you that check for $250,000 and the, 10 to 15 a year. But that locker, no, I don't need that. And it's like, that's where you draw the line. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. 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 So I just thought it was weird because like I've now played probably 3 like super nice courses between Kapalua, Saratoga, and Newport. Right. Like every other course I would say is like nice to very nice, right? Not like a next, like there's nice and then there's like next level nice, right? Like I said, Newport, Saratoga, and Kapalua, or Kapalua in particular, because it's a professional, like that's
Yeah,
the pros play there.
yeah, Kapalua is like a top 100 public. Um, but the thing about all 3 of those is they're either resort or public, however you want to define them, like premier public or premier daily fee, like however you want to define those. That's what you're dealing with those. Usually when I play my events, you're usually not, if a place had a rule, like if I played a golf course that had a rule, you can't put your shoes on in the parking lot, and I was playing there for an event, that rule would not be in play because I'm an outsider. I'm not a member. Technically, I'm not actually a guest either. I'm an event player.
Yeah.
So usually, like when we play, like on a Monday, like technically the course is closed, but it's open to us for the event.
Right.
So I've never played any of these places where I've been a guest.
Like I feel like Myopia Hunt kind of fits that.
It would be close. Myopia would be close. That's the type. Like that fits the bill because it's old, like super fucking old, super fucking exclusive. I don't know if that's a rule there.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was.
I wouldn't be surprised either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure where else I've heard it. But it's got to be a place where it's like, women were only allowed to join like fucking 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And even still, like they might not have like the men's locker room has to have a bar in it. Like especially like one of the places where there is no bartender, you just do whatever you want, but you have to like leave a like a chit slip or whatever. Like that's the type of shit we're talking about.
Yeah, yeah. I can see that. But yeah, I mean, I wanted to just bring it up because I thought it was hilarious.
Also, myopia is all of those things.
Yeah. Because I had heard that was a rule there. And then I saw someone posted the video, like I said, committing the most evil sin or whatever the fuck the caption was. But
stupid.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us. So thank you all for coming along. Don't forget to subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Hit that button up there somewhere. Tell everybody you know about the show. If you're an audio only guy, you also subscribe, and you can like, rate, and leave a review on Apple and Spotify. It helps other people find the show on top of you telling them about it. So that would be great. Thanks. You can get us on Instagram at Sarcasm Speaks Pod. Twitter is sarcasm_speaks. Facebook is Sarcasm Speaks. The website is sarcasmspeaks.com. Go to the merch store, buy some merch. And then while you're buying stuff from us, you can go to moonbrew.com. Use the promo code Jared16159 to get 10% off your entire order over at moonbrew.com and get some awesome sleep tea. make you sleep like a baby. And then you can go to grillyourassoff.com and use the promo code SarcasmPod to get 10% off there as well every single time you check out. And then you can go to mybookie.com, use the same promo code SarcasmPod over there, and they will double your first deposit up to $1,000 when you go sign up over there. So until next time, good night, everybody.